Base of jig is about 1.2 meters by 40 centimeters in width. Fence piece is about 12 centimeters held down by 6 screws. As we can see, the fence is perfectly straight against the straight edge. Base plate of the circular saw sits flush against the fence, as you can see. The blade runs against the outside of the base plate of the jig, as you can see. Here's a view from a different angle. The blade sitting flush against the base plate of the fence. I'm going to turn this sideways now so that you can have a better view of the two components. There sits the blade. Fence is flush, and it's all ready to use. Let's go and test it out. I didn't notice it. You'll see the ramifications in a moment. Place the jig along the line and then check to see it's square. We'll do in a second. All square, and all we have to do is clamp it down. Double checking. Always good to measure twice, cut once. And now we clamp it in place. Struggling a bit there, I see. Let's try and do the other one quicker. There we go, nice and solid. Now we're going to set the blade depth so it just cuts through the wood piece that we're cutting and doesn't strike the floor underneath. I have to get on my hands and knees to do this because I'm getting pretty old. From this video I look kind of stiff in my movements. There, it's all set and we are ready to go. Now you see the mistake. Watch the blade jam. There it jams. Because the wood on the right hand side of myself has lifted. Because there's no support on it. We solve this by putting some weight on this. And then I go make a second mistake. See the board under my left hand there should be much closer to the cut line. And watch what happens when the cut goes through. Bolt tilts and I'll almost strike the ground underneath. Not clever, but a good lesson to learn. There we go, all finished. Hi, Gary here. Woody Wood, backyard do-it-yourself having fun. Welcome to a storm-ravaged Cape Town. I've been asked a lot of times about how do you set up the Ryobi 1200 RE1200A plunge router, and so this video will cover what comes in the box, what all the little pieces mean and do, how we set them up, and then how we use them, and lastly what about the speed settings that were used for different types of wood. Now quickly to show you how you put the collet spring in and the collet nut on. The depth set pole is not marked very clearly. Put a dash of white paint on there to help you see the alignment. This section shows you the difficult or wrong way to do it. Just out of interest, the next section shows you the quick and correct way. Well, this just looks difficult and complicated, so here comes the easy way and the correct manner in which to do it. Here's the quick and correct method. Plunge the router down to the bit touch of the table, zeroing it. Make sure that the rod touches the surface of the rotational heights. Take your reading. Make an adjustment for the depth that you want. And you can check with the ruler to make sure you're accurate. This section gives you an idea of the rotational speeds and the variable adjustment for speed on the Ryobi. It's an approximate, the Ryobi doesn't provide the information. Been asked a couple of times how I fitted the router to the underside of the homemade router table. So today's video is going to be a simple one to show you how I did that, and you can use similar techniques to mount your router to the underside of your router table. If you like the video, please press subscribe, press the like button and hit the notification bell. Here we go. There's the router with the tabletop. Insert the router in. As you can see, my Ryobi plunge router is mounted in there. I'm going to take it apart and put it back together so you can see how I did that. The bottom here is a adjustment to raise and lower the router. MDF here, which we're going to use to make the holder for the router. What we do is place the router template must be precise. Handles can be big enough just to accommodate. I did the cutouts off camera. Router insert was precise. Now I need to clean up the holes for the handles. Now we'll do a quick test to see the router fits snugly into the cutout, which it does. Eventually, all good. Let's have some fun with the chisel, making sure that the holes for the handles are sufficiently wide enough. There, cutout all done. Holes for handles are big enough, and the router insert is precise. Ready for the next step. Always measure twice, cut once. Let's double check everything works properly. Now we're going to fix the router with these brace plates. I happen to have two pieces of metal with holes, which is ideal. So let's get round to positioning these on the router table insert. Now we fix those in, and then we are ready to test it on the router table. Now we slide it in. That. We'll use clamps to fasten it initially while we put the router table insert in, so we align the router bit with the center of the insert. All screwed in with 6 screws. You can still see the clamp holding it up, and we've checked to see that the alignment of the insert is with the router, so it centers. Push the router base plate down so it's level with the insert. I've leveled it off. Now I set the close button on the plunger It stays in position. Check to see it's all level. Put my little inserts in next. And then attach the insert plate by screwing it down. The center piece seemed to play around with me for a bit, didn't want to go in. But there was only going to be one winner. Let's have a look from underneath what it looks like. Remember, when you do the insert, make sure the power button is facing towards you so that it's easy to get to. Just get rid of that plug out the back. And there you're all done. The router is secured to the underneath of the router table. So the only thing left to do is to give it a test. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, press the like button, and hit the notification bell.